Ahoy there! I'm Dead Broke Nerd, and I'm a streamer, caster, and content creator who loves card games. So when a new card game comes out, you can be sure I'm gonna give it a try. Now, several of my friends in Team Rankstar have been buzzing about this new game, Mythgard, for months, and I was able to secure a spot in the closed beta so I could give it a try ahead of this week's open beta. Let's just say I've been very impressed, and I think there's a whole lot to love about this game. So I wanted to share my perspective on the 5 things that make Mythgard stand out. I want to start here because I think this is probably the biggest intangible that games of all varieties face. Unlike competitors like Hearthstone, Gwent, and the Elder Scrolls Legends, Rhino Games has created a wholly original world in which to base its new card game. The introductory campaign just scratches the surface of a world in which the heroes and monsters of mythology are made equals by the technological advancements of mortals. The colors of the cards often denote which area of the world they pull from, such as the fact that green features Russian folklore, while purple offers definitively Japanese influence. With technology and magic blending together, we see exciting takes on mythology, like the biker gang of Valkyries and the adaptation of Oni to urban society. The artwork is beautiful, and with so many talented artists involved, there are a ton of very distinct styles to appreciate, all of which serve to bring life to this new world. Let's be honest, it doesn't matter how pretty a game is if it doesn't follow through on gameplay. Although many of Mythgard's mechanics will rhyme with things you've seen in other card games like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, there are a few areas where Mythgard challenges its competitors by innovating certain long-held systems. Most noteworthy is the resource system. Mythgard has players burn a card in their hand in order to gain a gem of that card's color and 1 colorless mana, which will refill at the beginning of each turn. The burned card is then shuffled into the deck, where it can be found and played later in the game. Cards will require both mana and gems in order to be played, and will sometimes have effects that ask the player to consume excess mana or gems, adding an additional wrinkle. Accordingly, players will need to carefully plan their mana burning, both in-game and in deck construction, so as to be able to afford powerful cards like the Hyperborean. I found that while it takes a bit of getting used to, it offers so many more viable lines of play than many of the competitors in regards to how your resources take shape. It also manages to avoid the problem that games like Magic and Pokemon have, in that nearly half of one's deck are boring lands or energies. The other major distinction is Mythgard's board. Each player has 7 lanes. Minions occupy these lanes, and enchantments can give these lanes powerful lasting effects. A character can sacrifice its attack each turn to move to an adjacent lane, potentially avoiding an enemy creature or enchantment, or moving to occupy a friendly enchantment. Each character can attack any of the 3 lanes opposing it, and inversely can defend any of those lanes. Of course, there are a handful of keywords that break down those basic rules, but the outcome is a dynamic board in which positioning of cards is paramount, and the ability to slow down an opponent's tempo through a well-positioned blocker gives an unprecedented amount of agency to players and affords a high level of competitive integrity to any given match. Here's something that might surprise you. Mythgard offers a whopping 8 game modes, each of which award account experience and or in-game currency. Between a difficult puzzle mode, PvE constructed, and draft modes, and of course the tutorial campaign, there are plenty of ways to play Mythgard without the pressure of facing down a real person. The PvE draft mode, called Gauntlet, is particularly useful for new players looking to get the hang of the new mechanics and learn the different cards and keywords while still accumulating a good amount of coins to help build their collection. When you're ready to step into PvP, there is of course a casual and ranked constructed format, as well as a PvP draft mode, but you'll also find the hidden gem of Mythgard, 2v2 constructed. This promises to be a defining selling point of Mythgard, which enables players to pair up with a friend and face off against another team in a spell-slinging, monster-summoning scrap. One thing that I know has pulled a lot of people to Mythgard are the incredible array of launch day features that Rhino Games has added to Mythgard. Between the in-game deck tracker, game replays, and in-game art gallery, customizable portraits, a Twitch overlay for streamers and viewers alike, and the weekly featured decks that can be played by any player in any game mode, Rhino has put a concerted effort into making this game as accessible as humanly possible. To have all of these features by the launch of the open beta is not simply surprising, but endearing. The industry standard these days is to launch and then add things when they get around to it, or hope that passionate fans will do the work for them. That brings me to my last point. Rhino Games may be a small studio, but they regularly put to shame larger games when it comes to communication and participation in the community. They often check in on Twitch streams to answer questions and have an active Discord page where they regularly post roadmaps, updates, and announcements. More recently, they announced a partner program for content creators in order to give them access to Q&As with the developers and strengthen lines of communication. If there's anything that gives me confidence about the future of this game, it's the dedication that the devs have showcased and the joy with which they discuss their product. I really hope you guys give Mythgard a chance. If you found this video helpful, a like would be appreciated, and of course, if you want to see more of my content on a whole range of card games, consider subscribing so you can see when my new videos drop. If you decide to get started with Mythgard, I highly recommend checking out their Discord channel, which has a bevy of information and resources. Lastly, don't forget to check out TeamRankstar.com or join our Discord page for content and discussion on pretty much every digital card game on the market. Until next time, guys, I'll see you on the ladder.